The star system of Viridian had slumbered for centuries, its ancient sun burning with a steady, unchanging light that had nurtured countless worlds in silent grace. But on this day, one, marked by the rare celestial rhythm of the cosmic Bahar, quiet was shattered. Orbiting the verdant planet Neris, the research station, Astraeus floated like a sentinel in the cold black. Its gleaming arrays and antennae captured every whisper of the cosmic energy swelling beyond the void. Inside the station's command deck, the air hummed with anticipation and quiet tension. Tony stared at the shimmering holomap before him, the readouts pulsing in sync with the rising energy flux from the distant star. His brow furrowed beneath a tangled mess of dark hair, eyes sharp with cautious curiosity. Years of expeditions had taught him one truth above all: nature's gifts could quickly become its curses. Beside him, John adjusted the settings on a console, his rugged face calm, but his gaze steady as a blade. The readings are off the charts. If the legends are true, this surge could reshape life on Neris, maybe even accelerate evolution by centuries. Tommy nodded slowly, eyes never leaving the shifting patterns of light that played across the screens. Or destroy everything we know. We don't understand the full extent of these pulses. We're guests in a storm we can barely predict. From the hatchway, Miley entered, her youthful face alight with enthusiasm. Clad in a sleek utility suit, she carried a datapad bristling with sensors. The bioscanners picked up massive growth. Spikes in the lower flora and fauna this morning. Some species are adapting faster than anything documented. Emily, seated nearby, looked up from her neural interface studies, her delicate features shadowed with concern. The neural scans on the research volunteers show heightened brain activity, synaptic connections firing in patterns we haven't seen before. It's almost as if the energy is rewriting their mental architecture. Tony exchanged a glance with John. The line between miracle and menace had never been thinner dot as the star's glow intensified. The Astraeus team gathered at the observation window, watching the great orb flare in brilliant waves of crimson and gold. The cosmic Bahar had awakened, a cosmic heartbeat pulsing through space and time. But in its light, shadows stirred whispers of a force ancient and unknowable, waiting. To test the resilience of humanity's spirit, the awakening had begun. The glow of the cosmic Bahar spread like wildfire across the surface of Neris, its radiant waves pulsing through the atmosphere, igniting dormant seeds of life and stirring the planet's very core. But beneath this vibrant transformation, subtle distortions began to ripple, distortions that the team aboard Astraeus could no longer ignore. Tony sat hunched over a console in the dimly lit laboratory, fingers flying across touchpads as streams of data scrolled endlessly. His eyes, sharp and unyielding, darted between bioscan graphs and neural feedback loops. The numbers told a story more complex and more troubling than he'd anticipated. Miley, run a full spectral analysis on the energy frequencies. I want to know if this surge is purely natural or something else layered beneath the noise, he commanded, voice steady but tense. Miley, perched on a nearby station, nodded, eyes bright beneath the sleek visor of her helmet, already on it. But initial scans show unusual quantum fluctuations, almost like there's a pattern embedded in the energy waves. It's deliberate, but I can't decipher the code yet. John leaned against the bulkhead, arms crossed. His gaze was calm, yet filled with a deep conviction. This isn't just evolution in fast forward. It's a signal. Something out there, someone is orchestrating this. Emily's fingers traced faint circuits on her neural interface, her expression tightening. The volunteers in the mental resilience program, about 20% of them are showing increased synaptic plasticity. But with it comes instability, mood swings, hallucinations, even episodes of dissociation. The brain is adapting, but it's also breaking. Tony stood, his jaw clenched. So we have a rising tide of potential and a growing storm of chaos. The cosmic Bahar is awakening powers inside these people they can't control. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. The holomap flickered violently as Miley's voice cut through the chaos. Magnetic field disruption detected near the equatorial zone. Sensor readings show an unidentified energy signature, possibly bioelectric in nature. Tony grabbed a nearby headset, voice sharp. All personnel to observation decks. Prepare for immediate assessment. Outside the viewport, Neris's forests blazed with sudden bursts of shimmering light. Creatures unseen until moments ago darted through the foliage, transformed, energized, and eerily aware. Some emitted low-frequency pulses that seemed to synchronize with the star's own rhythm. John's eyes narrowed. It's not just the environment changing. The wildlife is reacting, maybe even communicating with the cosmic Bahar's energy. Emily added quietly, if the star is a conductor, then the planet is its instrument. But the melody, it's turning discordant. As the team scrambled to understand the shifting tides of this cosmic symphony, a sense of foreboding settled over Astræus. The awakening was no longer just a marvel of nature. It was a prelude to something far greater and far more dangerous. Asterisk. The tension aboard Astræus thickened like the charged air before a storm. Beneath the hum of power systems and the steady pulse of the cosmic Bahar, fractures began to form, not just in the environment below, but within the very team tasked with deciphering its secrets. In the main conference room, cold metal walls reflected the flickering hollow projections. Tony stood at the head of the table, eyes burning with urgency as data cascaded before them. We can't ignore the signs anymore. This surge is not just accelerating evolution, it's destabilizing the planet and our people. We need to intervene before it's too late. John, seated opposite him, leaned forward, his voice calm but unwavering. You're seeing danger. Where there is transformation, evolution demands upheaval, Tony. This is a crucible, not a catastrophe. We must let it run its course. Miley, her face pale but determined, spoke up from the corner. I've been testing the limits of my own abilities since the surge began. The energy is unlocking powers I never thought possible. But it's exhausting, like trying to hold back a tidal wave with bare hands. We're not all ready for this. Emily's gaze flickered between Tony and John, the weight of their opposing views mirrored in her own conflicted expression. The psychological effects are profound. Some volunteers have become unstable delusions, paranoia, even aggression. We're treading a fine line between breakthrough and breakdown. Tony's voice sharpened. And what if this line snaps? We risk losing everything: our mission, this planet, our sanity. John shook his head, the fire in his eyes undimmed. Sometimes, Tony, to create something new, the old must be shattered. You want control. I want evolution. We're not enemies. We're visionaries on different paths. Miley swallowed hard, her hands trembling slightly. But at what cost? I'm scared. If this surge keeps spreading, what happens to the people who can't keep up, to those who lose themselves? Before anyone could respond, the station's COMM system crackled. A distorted voice spoke in code, a signal from beyond the station, encrypted but unmistakably alien. Emily's fingers flew over the console. There's someone else here, someone watching. Tony's eyes narrowed. An unknown party with their own agenda. John's jaw tightened. This changes everything. As the cosmic pulse outside grew stronger, so too did the chasm between them. Loyalties were tested, alliances formed and broken, and the fate of Neres and possibly humanity hung precariously in the balance dock in the silent depths of space. The true architects of the cosmic Bahar watched patiently, their designs unfolding like the petals of a deadly cosmic flower. Asterisk the Astrea stations. Artificial gravity hummed faintly as the team delved deeper into the mystery that had upended their mission. The dim glow of holographic consoles and the rhythmic pulse of distant stars created an almost hypnotic atmosphere. But within the command center, tension crackled sharper than any static interference. Tony leaned forward over the central console, eyes fixed on a set of alien glyphs slowly revealing themselves on the holoscreen. They had stumbled upon a hidden transmission embedded deep within the cosmic energy signature ancient, data encoded with layers of complexity that defied CONVENTIONAL. Understanding.Emily adjusted her neural interface to help process the patterns. These symbols, they're not just random, they're instructions. A kind of blueprint. This energy surge is engineered, not natural. John stood nearby, arms crossed, his gaze hard. By whom? Miley's fingers danced over her datapad. The patterns align with what we've theorized. The cosmic Bahar is controlled by an ancient race. Their technology predates human civilization by eons. The holoscreen shifted, revealing star maps, intricate machines, and a vast network of what appeared to be energy conduits sprawling across the galaxy. The true scope of the cosmic architects became terrifyingly clear. They're not just observers, Tony murmured. They manipulate evolution across star systems, seeding bursts of energy to accelerate or prune life as they see fit. Emily's voice was barely a whisper. We're pawns in a vast biological experiment. Our planet, our species is part of their design. John's expression darkened. But why is this cycle unstable now? Why is the cosmic Bahar threatening to tear this system apart? Miley's eyes flickered with alarm. Something's gone wrong. Either the architects lost control, or there's a sabotage, an internal fracturing within their order. As they debated, the station's sensors detected a surge of energy from the planet's core, massive bioelectrical pulse unlike anything recorded before. The very essence of Neris seemed to respond to the architect's will or rebellion. Suddenly, a crackling transmission broke through the encrypted layers, an alien voice, low and resonant, spoken in a language both ancient and chillingly familiar. Must be restored, it intoned. Tony swallowed hard. They're watching us, waiting to see what we do next. John's jaw clenched. And if we fail, we become extinct. The weight of that reality pressed down on them all. The cosmic Bahar was no longer a cosmic phenomenon to observe. It was a battlefield where fate itself was decided. Outside the viewport, the dying star flared once more, its light both a beacon and a warning. The architects had made their move, and humanity's reply was about to begin. Asterisk. The atmosphere aboard Astreus was thick with tension and uncertainty, as if the very walls themselves could sense the seismic shifts tearing through the minds and hearts of the crew. The steady hum of the station's systems seemed almost drowned. Beneath the cacophony of conflicting ideals and fragile loyalties, Tony paced relentlessly in the command room, his face etched with a deep furrow born of sleepless nights and mounting pressure. Each decision seemed to carry the weight of countless lives, not just those on Astreus, but on the entire planet below. We can't gamble with evolution, Tony insisted, voice sharp with conviction. If this energy keeps destabilizing, the whole ecosystem collapses. The star, the planet, even our minds could unravel. We have to contain it by any means necessary. John leaned against the console, arms crossed, his eyes calm but burning with passion. Containment is control. Control breeds stagnation. The cosmic Bahar is a crucible meant to forge new life, new consciousness. We're resisting change out of fear, not reason. The room felt charged, as if their very words could tip the fragile balance of fate. Miley stood between them, her hands trembling as she clutched a small crystalline device glowing with iridescent energy. I've been testing this, It can regulate the energy pulses, but it's unstable. It amplifies powers, but also fractures minds. Emily stepped forward, her gaze steady yet haunted. Our people already showing signs of strain. Psychosis, aggression, uncontrolled abilities. The longer this continues, the more lives we risk losing. Suddenly, the station's alert systems flared an incoming transmission. The voice on the comm was cold and unfamiliar, crackling with encrypted layers. "I am Elise," it announced. "A guardian of the Architect's will. The cosmic Bahar is balance. Interference risks annihilation." Tony's jaw tightened. "And yet here you are, warning us. What do you want?" Elise's voice softened, almost mournful. "Alliance or extinction?" The crew exchanged wary glances. The arrival of Elisa being tied to the alien architects introduced a new precarious variable. Could they trust this emissary? Or was this another ruse in a cosmic game beyond their understanding? John's voice cut through the silence. "Perhaps our fight is not against the surge itself, but against how we choose to meet it. We must decide, evolve with the tide, or fight to survive the storm." Tony looked at Miley and Emily, their eyes reflecting the same uncertainty and hope. The fractures among them mirrored the fractures spreading across Neres and beyond Dot in the depths of space. The architects watched, their designs unfolding as intended, or so they believed. But even in the darkest cosmic crucibles, alliances could form, and from those, new destinies could ignite. Asterisk. The Astries station vibrated with an urgency that left no room for hesitation. The once rhythmic pulses of the cosmic Bahar had crescendoed into a roaring storm of raw, chaotic energy, reverberating through the star system like a cosmic earthquake. Outside the reinforced viewport, the red giant flared with unrelenting fury. Its seething corona, a turbulent sea of incandescent plasma. Inside, Tony stood at the command console, eyes bloodshot but unwavering, as alarms screamed in a relentless symphony of warning. Beside him, John methodically coordinated the station's energy dampeners, his calm exterior masking a tempest of conflicting emotions. "We don't have much time," Tony said, voice gravelly but resolute. "If we can't stabilize the energy conduit, the entire planet and this station will be obliterated." Miley gripped the crystalline device tightly, sweat beading on her brow. The regulators failing under this surge. "It's like trying to hold back a star with a sieve." Emily's fingers danced over neural monitors, tracking the crew's rising stress levels and neurological strain. "We're all fraying at the edges. The mental toll is escalating. If we don't act soon, people will break." Suddenly, a violent tremor shook the station, knocking monitors askew. The lights flickered. Gravity fluctuated briefly. Through the viewport, massive bioelectric storms crackled across Neris's surface, tearing swaths of forest into blazing infernos and sending waves of energy surging through the atmosphere. John's voice cut through the chaos, clipped and urgent. "We need to channel the energy into the secondary conduits. Redirect the flow before it breaches containment." Tony nodded, issuing rapid commands. "All hands, brace for system overload. Miley, Emily support me on the regulator console." The trio worked in unison, hands moving with practiced precision, their synchronized efforts a fragile barrier against annihilation. Outside, the star's fury seemed to press inward, an unstoppable force bearing down on their last defense. But as the surge peaked, a shocking transmission pierced the chaos. Elise's voice, resonant and clear. "Balance. Demand sacrifice. Prepare to sever the bond." A sudden jolt ripped through the station. The lights dimmed, systems flickered, and for a moment, all was suspended in eerie silence. In that suspended moment, Tony realized the true cost of survival. The cosmic Bahar was not merely a cosmic event. It was a crucible of choice, testing. The resilience of life and spirit. John met his gaze, fierce and unyielding. Whatever happens, we endure. Together. The station's systems roared back to life as they enacted the final phase of the regulator. Streams of energy funneled through conduits, lancing outward into space, dimming the star's violent glow. The surge began to ebb. The planet's surface, still. And humanity's fragile victory, hung suspended between star-scarred. But unbroken. The tempest had passed, but its scars remained etched across Neres and within the hearts of those who had survived the cosmic Bahar. Outside the observation deck's expansive viewport, the red giant's once raging corona now pulsed. With a subdued, steady light, a heartbeat slowing to a cautious rhythm, Tony stood alone, silhouetted against the vastness of space. His face was lined with exhaustion, yet beneath the weariness lay a quiet resolve. The station around him was scarred panels scorched, systems flickering but alive. So were they. John joined him, carrying 2 cups of synthetic coffee. He handed one over without a word, a simple gesture heavy with unspoken camaraderie. "We made it," John said softly, voice barely above the hum of the station. Tony nodded, eyes never leaving the star. For now. The cosmic Bahar changed everything. Not just the planet, but us. New abilities, new dangers, new questions. Miley entered, her face radiant despite the fatigue, eyes sparkling with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. "The energy hasn't disappeared. It's single quotes S. Evolved. Some of us can still feel it, like a pulse beneath the surface." Emily followed, carrying a data slate dense with neural readings. The survivors' brains show permanent rewiring, heightened cognition, new sensory inputs. "We're not the same." Tony glanced at them both. "Then our mission is just beginning. We must learn to live with this new reality." The crew gathered in the central hub, sharing stories of what they'd endured and the transformations they'd witnessed. Bonds forged in fire and fear now held them together in fragile hope. Outside, on Nereus' surface, strange new life forms emerged, creatures of bioluminescent hues and intricate patterns, shaped by the cosmic energy's touch. Planet breathed anew, a living testament to change. Yet in the quiet corners of the universe, shadows stirred. The architects observed, their designs incomplete, their intentions inscrutable. Tony turned from the window, eyes steely. The cosmic Bahar was not an end. It was a beginning, and we will face whatever comes next together. As the stations, lights dimmed to night mode, a soft glow pulsed from the crystalline device Miley carried, reminder that within the chaos of change lay the seed of possibility. The stars watched silently. A new dawn had broken.